Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Left 4 Dead. Let's start the next campaign. So we've done now No Mercy. Once again, this doesn't have controller support, full controller support. I guess we're doing Death Toll. One would assume that each of these are chronological since No Mercy seemed to happen right before Crash Course. Therefore, Death Toll should probably have us crashing that hyped up tank car that we escaped with in Crash Course. Let's see, who do we want to play as? We played as Francis, then we played as Bill, so I guess we'll play as Zoe. Now, there is a statement certainly to say in 2008 and even in 2021, games still very much struggle to have a 50-50 male to female ratio, as it were. There is still enough, I guess, people who have preferences. I would pretty much call them man children or children in general that don't want to play the opposite gender. I personally love to play as female characters because they, in a third person perspective game, are more attractive to look at, particularly if you're just looking at the back half of a character, and their voices tend to be a little bit more pleasant to hear, even in a first person game. We see in the makeup of the super mutants, there's only really the witch compared to, I guess, 3 other male mutants characters, in the hunter, the smoker, and the bruiser tank character. And in the generic setup of zombies, we seem to only get about 1/3 of the characters are female zombies. And yeah, not that much has really changed in 13 years. Even though the opportunity certainly has changed, like where it would have been a lot more effort to have to make 3 good skins.
I say we head there.
Interesting.
Sounds good to me.
How the audio was zoomed out to the back part of
Let's do it.
where the camera was instead of where she was standing. So, you know, I think we'll mostly just be sticking with that gun, the automatic guns. Yeah, nowadays it wouldn't be very hard, particularly with Unreal Engine 5, to have 6 character models, 3 male, 3 female, or just go straight up 8 character models, 4 male, 4 female, and then have 4 of them show up in the same game. I will say, I guess the Resident Evil games are slightly more balanced nowadays with female characters.
Reloading.
So this, instead of being in a kind of open city area, this seems like this is going to be more of a forested area, which definitely feels like the next connection part of Crash Course. But the car is missing. Like, this is just a police car. The armored car should potentially be over that way, and I guess maybe it ran into trees, and that's the general idea. Here we can see some staged corpses. You could have gone the other direction, though. This could have been the level between the Mercy Hospital and the Crash Course. Crouching improves accuracy? Since when? First time I knew that. Well, I probably did know it when I played a long time ago, but I wouldn't be surprised. So instead of iron sights or anything like that, you just crouch. And if crouching does improve accuracy, then you know for a fact that this game is actually cheating against you, and the shots are not actually guaranteed to hit if the pixel is really over the target. They're running a mischance percentage. Now we have a danger here where there is a decent chance that we're gonna see a lot of this happen. Like a lot of just zombies coming out of the forest. And I don't know if there really is going to be many sequences where we get outside of this forested area. It would totally make sense for this to have been a transition level. It seems like we can go... we'll have to go under, because jumping is probably not going to work. Also seems like you could have started the level here with the car not able to go any further, and that would make more sense.
Let's get up that ladder.
It seems like I'm hearing some more animals, which would be interesting if we started to run into more zombie animals. But we're not going to see any of that.
Watch out!
Instead, there's just some things.
Watch out!
Some corners instead of closets. No ladders, no multiple ladders, so everybody's going to have to climb up one by one. Up.
Check this out.
And you can see how the setup here is terrible.
I'm reloading.
We didn't start with a place to get any of the Molotovs. Did I set this on easy? I don't think so. I think I'm playing this on normal. Well, there's no way to tell. Alright, well, I guess we're going to play this on normal, and that would explain why I didn't get a Molotov. Once again, when we started this level, we don't have much of a indication of where we're gonna finally end up. We just saw a sign called Riverside, which it would make sense for it to cycle back into a city of some sort. You could have also certainly had... Where are all these zombies coming from? Like, how are they just climbing up? I mean, seriously, there's nothing here. Just a ladder. There was a second ladder, I guess. Yeah, we went through a subway section before, so it would sure make sense that there would be potentially a tunnel section.
Nice.
It's through this tunnel.
That there would be a tunnel section in
Reloading.
nothing here. Just a area to spawn more zombies, I guess. It doesn't really make sense though to crouch down and try and target anything, because even in the act of doing that, you're setting yourself up for
There's a pipe bomb here.
some major frustration. There we go.
Fire. No! Smoker!
Yeah, and I'm calling for help, and only half the time does the game actually successfully recognize that I'm calling for help.
Grenade! There's a pipe bomb here. Molotov's over here.
I'm barely doing anything. I'm getting knocked down quite a bit.
Reloading.
Barely playing. Here we have a interesting explosive element. But it's not like I'm really cleaning things up by killing anything or throwing these bombs or doing anything. I'm really just kind of
No! No! Smoker!
building up my score. And you can really see how this game's difficulty settings don't really mean anything. It's just how often the AI director is going to decide to it really is just how long the AI director is going to decide to wait before it throws something else at you. I can't even shoot those if even trying. This gun's magazine is ridiculously small. And I wonder if there was supposed to be a scripted encounter here, or if that just triggered. Now I'm getting dragged further and further away from the group. We can see there's a smoker back there. I am like almost completely out of bullets.
Look out!
Zombies are jumping in front of the smoker. That would be an interesting thing if that was just a gameplay mechanic where the zombies did intentionally act as shields. Shields for the mutants.
Reloading.
Definitely still feels like this is a linear experience though.
There's a hunter around. Reloading.
And we can see him definitely clipping through the wall there, so that was easy enough to figure out. They still like to just run towards me on normal. Okay. We can walk over here. We can jump over to that and we can get up.
Hold up, I got something for you.
And or we could look around here and see if there are any 3D models of anything or any items to collect, but items to collect are fairly limited to just
Ammo here.
can I possibly throw that way? That's about all I can do. Well, we'll fill up on ammo. That was slightly helpful. And let's see if we can throw that way. And you can't switch your guns while you're you can't switch your guns while you're reloading, or the reload cancels. And then I guess we are back to a forest area. And so that's about as far as you want to run, I think, with any gas canister. I just don't think it's worth your effort any other way.
Reloading.
I'd have to question really if the hunter needs to have a specific appearance.
Go ahead and take this.
Because it seems to me like you could fairly easily just yeah, it feels like you could have any of the characters randomly become a hunter and take on the actions of a hunter without changing the appearance. Like the hunter is the only real element that visually stands out to me is that he has a hoodie on. You can see there's a safe house. Seeing that achievement to leave the safe house and save somebody does not really work in multiplayer, in single player, because you're just very unlikely that somebody's gonna leave and die. And see, that was only like 18 minutes. That was a ridiculously small amount of time. So here we will heal ourselves, and then we need Bill to decide to. I feel like I kind of want the shotgun. We'll keep it different. We didn't get a gun upgrade.
Come on, let's do it.
Bill got his health kit. Everybody else has everything. Time to start moving to the other area.
Reloading.
Now, I don't think you really trigger the director inside the safe rooms. So this almost feels like a beginning idea of a mini game, a shooting gallery game.
Reloading.
That would have been an interesting idea, certainly, as if there was a shopkeeper that was giving you rewards for the number of people you were shooting through the window, or a high score thing. Maybe you integrate it to some kind of motion sensor. less text on the wall from the looks of it too. We didn't really look. Like, here's a bunch of stuff that's just going to be so small you would never be able to read it. Here's just in basically nothing. You have some visual storytelling with some luggage, and that's about it. There's nothing else on this wall, which kind of implies that at this point in the story they're saying very few people have survived, and they've pretty much given up on the idea of leaving messages for loved ones or bits of help. If anything, it's probably more of a case that the game itself and the writers themselves have given up on writing. There was a point definitely where one of the major writers, of which I think there's probably only 2 or 3 at Valve over the past couple decades, pretty much left Valve, was fired from Valve, or like laid off from Valve because they just weren't making any games, so he had no reason to write anything. Now, in this game, you don't really have to be worried about this upper area. There will be some zombies that show up. So we're going through a sewer section, which yeah, you can definitely tell there's a miss mechanic there. That was a lot of shots.
There's a hunter. Through here.
So either we go this way, or you go this way, which feels like a split branch. With all that smoke, you can't really see anything else. Why am I hearing crickets? This is kind of the perfect place to be.
Reloading.
Yeah. Yeah, they just... I guess they were playing crickets here because they wanted you to hear this, but you can't climb on vines and leave or anything like that. It would have been funny, I guess, if that was a different way into this whole area. So you can't go up. So I suspect that this area is I suspect this area is just below. Who is shooting me? Am I getting now friendly fired for all the times I've accidentally friendly fired somebody? Alright. That's what I wanted. Looks like we may have a real split path here. Either take the sewer path and crisscross, or take the upper path.
Ammo here.
You guys need to take those pills. Can't hit them.
Pills here.
Take them. Take them, take them, take them.
Hey, there's weapons over here.
Take weapons. Make sure everybody is well equipped. Where's Bill? Okay. Bill. Let's see.
Here, you can have this. Grabbing some pills.
And then where's Lewis?
Here. We might need these.
Alright. And we can climb up. So you can switch and change your mind. Which might be fine because it looks like actually it really isn't a split path. It's you could have started up here and cleared out a lot of the area, but at the end of the day you were going to just end up showing up. That's a fairly large amount of zombies. As the AI director gets bored with me trying to actually experience the game. I suppose that is an element to this, certainly, is in the decision to try and make this a game that would have been multiplayer, and thus played over and over again. To make this the kind of game people would want to come back to over and over again, they couldn't really see the cracks in the wall or all the content in one playthrough. It would just feel like it would feel very redundant, to say the least. Can I pick up the bullets from that area? No, let's get a move on, otherwise we're gonna end up triggering the AI director once again. Get away. So
I'm okay.
the game just decided to let me win and survive there, so that I didn't immediately die, but yeah, that was some crazy fight before.
Hold up, I gotta heal.
Let's see. It was a crazy fight, which really highlights where the pills are kind of useless. And we're gonna end up fighting again. There's a witch also around here. See, we're crossing over. So we needed to make a bridge. And I guess, if anything, it went very easy on me. And we're supposed to just walk through this whole area.
Pills here.
Is anybody else missing pills? Nope, just me. So if you were to fall down this direction, you could climb back up. And that's just nothing. Can't jump over that. Which that seems kind of pointless. To have that be blocked off. Really didn't look through all of this. That's nothing. So that pretty much implies to me that the witch is probably further to come. Unless it's just randomly been placed in a place you can't even access. Notice how it's giving me a lot more bullets now. Alright, here's what I'm gonna try and do. We've got like a horrible scenario here. So the only thing I can hope to do is that.
Would you look at this? Come on, guys, I need some help.
Can you make it?
Is it bad?
You're fine.
And so we've got these like numbers
Thanks a lot.
after our
Patch yourself up.
that seems like it's a either score or your chance of being revived or something.
Ammo here.
Alright, well. Didn't seem like I got an achievement for burning the witch. Although, maybe there's an achievement for burning the witch to death instead of just starting her on fire.
Reloading. I'm reloading.
We've definitely gone through a lot of health though, so I could definitely see myself coming to regret accidentally putting it in normal mode.
Honor on Zoe.
Reloading.
Yeah, and it doesn't really seem like no explosive barrel there.
Reloading.
And this wall just ends here at a kind of right angle where it should probably be curved for
I'm reloading.
one of these big sewer drains. Is there anything else in here, or are we just kind of leaving?
Help here.
We're working our way, I guess, up to the next safe house, which definitely seems like there's more of them, more chapters. Let's see, who doesn't have pills? Francis?
Behind you. Take this. I might need these pills.
And you know what I think I want to do is decide to take the pills right before I close the sanctuary and see if that possibly leads to me getting a permanent upgrade in health. Worst case scenario there is I take the pill kind of pointlessly. Yeah, but the only real choice is to go up this way.
Molotovs
And
over
then we've
here.
got some Molotovs. which I prefer the bombs.
I got a pipe bomb over here.
Got pipe bombs. Is there anything else that can be seen over here? These are still extremely linear levels. It feels a little different. We are going a little bit further away from the... Is everybody actually gonna make it? And Lewis is being constricted by... So apparently there was a way to climb up. And yeah, this definitely feels like this could have been the point where you would have gotten back into the city part of the Mercy escape. And they are benefiting quite a bit here by not having a lot of buildings and a lot of skybox visually. Not having to really display as much. Don't really feel like I had made the game wait that long on that one. And we can't open this bathroom stall, if that is a bathroom stall door. These are different bathrooms, but you can also kind of tell how there is considerably not enough RAM, so not enough video RAM, so they didn't have two different types of bathroom stalls.
Reloading. Into the caboose.
Interesting. We should look around here and investigate a little bit. Let's see how much there might be to find.
I'm reloading.
Seems like not much, really. We have the same girl model with the same clothes color. I'm glitching fairly a lot trying to let's take the pills, get in here, and close the door.
Sweet.
So I'm at plus 98 now. So we'll want to see in the next chapter. These are very short chapters, but it's probably for the better. Yeah, it's plus 98, but it's still the same effect as before as taking pills. So you don't lock in your health or anything by taking pills and then going to a safe room, where that would have been an interesting twist, certainly. There's clearly not a lot here. This is just a area designed to let them load into another area. Let's see. Listen for them and walk around. But see, that this suggestion just is not how the game actually works. Let's see. So if this was a single player horror game and there was an idea that some then you might have some stealth sections. I could see an idea where in half of the safe zones you find other survivors who have like broken legs or kids or something, and then you have to sneak out in quiet, otherwise you'll send the zombies back to the sanctuary. Let's see, all of a sudden this kind of is switching from a forest sewer level and connecting to a railroad or railway line level, which is still mostly forested, kind of warehousey. Notice how you very often get stuck on the physics. A more modern game would have been able to accommodate for that, and either worst case scenario have you clip through or dragged you over. But yeah, that is the kind of thing that a new generation physics engine or animation engine would look to fix and address. Is more of a natural feeling. I believe The Last of Us 2 showed off a fairly fancy rope physics engine where that would work really well with the smokers dragging mechanic. We're just in an area. You can't get into this area? Interesting. This is one of those sections I imagine where you're going to potentially go back and forth if you're not careful. There's nothing up here. And
hey,
up
there's
here.
weapons over here. Yeah.
Yeah, this would be a great scene where you would have a sniper rifle, sniper alley experience. But no, not really gonna have any of that. Instead, I'm just wandering around, basically asking the game to trigger things on me.
Pretty sure I can hear a hunter.
On normal difficulty, there's absolutely no fear around running into a hunter. When that should be just like pants pooping, terrifying an experience, and it's just not there. Notice we're also not really finding a lot of respawn sections, so I have no idea where people would respawn.
Grenade!
He's on fire and probably gonna die. I thought we might kill him before he even made it to us, but I guess they balanced the life enough. I guess they balanced the life enough so that they can reach you.
Not a fan of creepy old train yards.
It would be very interesting to have a game where there was a kind of dynamic shooting gallery mechanic. Like, perhaps you enter a sequence, the second you get spotted, time slows down, and you have 30 seconds to shoot as many zombies as possible. You won't kill them all, but the more that you do shoot in that adrenaline moment sequence, the more you don't have to fight later. There's no ladder up there. I didn't really think there would be. They are blocking the path. With trains. Wow. I don't know, my electricity just flickered, or if I
Molotovs
just
over here.
am starting to have epileptic reactions to, like, I don't have epilepsy, but yeah, the flashing of the lights while I was pulling the guns in that one brief second was weird. Still can't get these guys to, can I give a Molotov to people? Like, no, you can't. And the windup of throwing a Molotov cocktail is too slow, so.
We can get on the other side of the fence up here.
So we needed to have come up this way. Which, that feels like that would have been the point to have triggered something big. Wow. Just bowled that right off the other edge.
Weapons here.
I don't know if anybody even needs weapons. I don't think they do. Yeah, once you get that one level of upgrade, and here's a respawn. So, yeah, it feels like in this particular scenario, there would have been
Hunters around.
a very,
Fire in the hole.
like, a very long wait time, potentially. Alright. It seems to me like there's a decent amount of direction you can take that way. So, is there nothing this way? Seems, yeah, fairly empty. Yeah, you just are running into walls over this direction. And then this section is blocked. I was on the ladder. Darn it. I've been biled all over, so I'll just go in a circle. I am low out of bullets.
Go on and heal up, Zoe.
Notice that
Hold up.
when
let
I
me heal.
reloaded there, it took all the bullets out of my cartridge and like put it then back into a full clip. It took all the
Almost
bullets
to
out of the
Riverside.
clip and then put it back in the clip, which then slowly rose the number of bullets I have on the right side. versus the left side. See, I guess this was supposed to be. This was another instance where this was supposed to be environmental storytelling. And yeah, this kind of feels like this could have connected to the docks. And it definitely feels like if this had been these levels were designed for multiplayer first and foremost, that these areas would have multiple paths in which you could reconnect the characters and have them all show up at the same place through different tunnels.
I'm reloading.
There's a certain logic, certainly, to the idea of there being multiple paths in any design.
Pills here.
Yeah, all of you take some pills. So I'll shoot through this window at some zombies.
Reloading. Reloading.
Seems like I've pretty much stopped having I've stopped getting achievements from the feel of it, which has kind of slowed down the appeal for a game like this. Alright, so we can either go through this spooky forest.
Reloading.
And frankly, I don't think it's probably safe enough. No alarm there.
Reloading.
So I think this time we'll just have to stay on the road. It pretty much was just going to be a shortcut though. Like, we can't jump over any of these fence sections or anything like that, so
Oh, nice. A cabin in the middle of nowhere. I know how this movie ends.
we can hear another witch. I think this time probably is wise to avoid the witch.
Reloading.
Pills here.
Let me patch you up. I'm gonna need these.
Thanks.
Can we get around this edge? No. See, this almost seems like this is an intentionally scripted
Weapons
section
over here.
where they want us to walk through this house and think that it might be some safety there.
There's a hunter
Some
out
of these
there.
vents have been transversible, but a lot of them definitely aren't. And see, we are now back to using. Let's see. So I guess that's a respawn area. Can't shoot TVs. No guns but
Ammo
bullets,
here.
which that's almost as good. Crackling fire. But yeah. There's the hunter. Just barely got out of there quick enough. And the game is just getting tired of me. So it's throwing more and more. No safety in that. Yeah, and the bullet sounds are getting very repetitive. And I know that's probably true in most first-person shooters, but this one, I think that gets highlighted a lot more because there's just kind of nothing else happening.
Hunter on Bill.
Pills here.
Did they grab the pills? Who needs the pills? Francis? Okay. Reload. Reload. We've got basically no Molotovs. And we're basically going to have to do it. So we made it to the wall of Riverside, and you can see it's been barricaded off. Once again, the cars can't make it through, which, like, it seems like it is just going to be consistently the narrative in almost any zombie game that
We're near a safe
the car
house.
passages can't be
There's
made
lights
through.
on in that church.
So we're now going creepy church. I mean, how Resident Evil 4 do you get at a certain point? I don't know what I shot that just started
I'm reloading.
a fire there, but whatever. I kind of wish there was more of that going on. Like, RE4 went through creepy forests. At a certain point you go into creepy sewers. The order is not the same, but really is just hitting the same old beats, which I'm sure that these aren't ideas that came directly out of RE4. They probably come from a plethora of areas that would have been in zombie games. If anything, I'd say RE4 is more compromised by having the plethora of different locations, because kind of up until that point all of the RE4 locations. There's a guy talking over there. By the way, not getting the subtitles there yet. He's crazy rambling. And you'd think you'd be like a quest giver or something. But I'm not even sure. Tell him to let you into the safe room. Church guy. Be ready to fight the horde.
Who's there? Is someone there?
Yep.
I've got a bell in here.
And see here. We got people.
You said you were immune.
And he's crazy.
I trusted you.
And he's going to
You're immune. You said
Ammo
set
here.
off the horde.
who's there? Don't make me
Meanwhile. Yep. kind of know where this is going. Alright. He seems like he's coughing. And see, you'd think that this might be a point where you would get an AI character.
I'm gonna start ringing this church bell if you don't say something.
Okay. Do we have a turret gun? No. And then
Must be immune. That's right.
there's no turret gun.
No, I have to be immune. No one gets in.
You're not gonna just open the door? Really?
I'm gonna ring this bell. I'm gonna ring the bell, and they'll come and they'll finish the job. Ding dong, ding dong.
Fire in the hole!
Alright. Yep. Again, the idea of breakable walls is not as good as what I would call an RE5, although in all fairness, RE4 didn't really have breakable walls. Help. Help, help.
Reloading.
Check this out.
Sometimes I think they just specifically are saying some of the AIs are helping you when they really aren't. This is a difficult to defend position, to say the least.
Reloading.
Okay. And as soon as you close the door, that's just that. And so the guy turned into a boomer. Puts us in a weird position because it seems like the number of chapters here are going to be fairly
Let me heal you up.
long. This might be a case where I make it this far and then I have to decide to change it to easy and then load into the specific chapter if I really struggle with the final section. This is a different sanctuary design, which is interesting, but I would say I would have preferred more sanctuaries that were the same. Here you can see the guy's pretty much gone totally crazy. See.
Looks like Riverside couldn't hold it together.
If we get to the river, we can find a boat.
Good thinking.
So I guess that's what we're looking for, is a boat. Let's go ahead and
Let me
heal
patch you up.
Emma.
I owe you one.
Okay. So yeah, we're continuing through this game, and as long as I don't actually try too hard to be a video game critic. Oh, I did get an achievement for Burn the Witch. Interesting. It didn't pop up, or I didn't see it. Maybe they've decided to stop showing achievements, or maybe I was just not paying enough attention. Like, by default, Steam is not really supposed to show any of the overlay stuff and the achievements, but I turn it off and then it seems to come on anyways. So who knows? Yep. That was about 3 separate areas. A spooky choice, church, forest areas, tunnel areas, and sewer areas. Each one of those could have easily been broken up so far into a longer single narrative campaign. That is what Resident Evil 4 did. I mean, it is kind of jaw-dropping if you actually think about where you start in RE4, because you are in this small Eastern Bloc European country to start with, and by the time you're at the end of the game, you're on a military island that's just full of mercenaries, and in the middle you end up going to a creepy church, although you don't really even do that much at the creepy church. Like, churches are good visual architecture, but not really great places to spend a lot of time with. So as you see here, we ended up at the church, and then we did a fight to defend it for a brief time, and then we immediately moved on. Although I will say Dead Island has a section where you are going back and forth between the church as your main hub area. I think Dead Island and Zombie both kind of have that concept down a little bit better, where you end up doing missions that make you go back to an hub area, back and forth. Dead Island particularly, and later its spiritual successor Dying Light, I think really created a great gameplay loop where it would show you a place on the map or tell you a place on the map that you needed to go to collect some mission item, and then because that place on the map was far away from the hub area, you would end up running into random zombies in a very natural process, and it made the game feel much more open world when Dead Island in particular really wasn't that open world. But it made it certainly feel that way, and it made the gameplay feel much more interactive and dynamic, whereas that would have been something you really would have wanted in Left 4 Dead, so there was more of a reason to play it. This really feels like a game where you probably wouldn't actually ever be able to perfect it, but it would feel like you were very close to perfecting it, simply because you don't have any changes really in the layout or design. The AI director is barely changing things. It's sometimes throw some more zombies at you. It sometimes puts some pickups and power-ups in a different place. If that was going to be more impactful, there would have to be more power-ups and pickups anyways. And if you're playing on the expert level, I bet you don't get very many bullets or pickups and power-ups anyways, so that probably eliminates a lot of what the AI director could do to vary up the experience. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.